What's good, YouTube? You're back on S Motorsports, and today we're going to be working on installing a shift kit into my 4L80 transmission. So welcome back to the channel, guys. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up as we dive into this 4L80-E today. We are going to be installing Superior Fairbanks shift kit, as well as some other maintenance, new filters, some new seals, stuff like that. I want to get diving into this. I've installed a shift kit previously on the old 700R4 transmission, and I hated it. I hated it because it wasn't really that fun. Hopefully this is a lot easier with it out of the vehicle, where I can flip it up over, and yeah, just makes life easier. So we're gonna dive in. Hopefully this goes smoothly so we can get this baby installed, or made it up to the engine so we can get it installed into the Trans Am and really make some progress. So I'm excited to get started on this. We'll dive into what is in this shift kit once we get to that point. It's got instructions in here, so I'll start with that, but really I gotta just take some of the ancillary tubes, torque converter off, and then we'll get this flipped over so we can get the transmission pan off and start going from there. But we'll basically follow the instructions to what we're supposed to do. I think we start kind of with the front pump area, so let's get those out. Okay, taking a look at the instructions, it looks like we're going to be going to what, step 15. So yeah, we're going to get this flipped over first. It looks like the first step they have you actually drilling the casting itself in the underside, so we're going to start with that. 2 is the snap ring, which we're not going to install because we're not taking out the internal guts. But step 3 then is looks like the front pump stuff. So we'll get that uninstalled as well. So let's get this kind of dismantled and flipped over. Looks pretty good in there. Really not that bad. Very, very minimal sludge on there, which tells me that this is indeed a low mileage transmission like they said it is. So I think it looks pretty good.
At this point, my GoPro camera decided to stop recording sound, which is excellent. But what I'm explaining here in step 1, they want you to drill a couple holes into the base, the valve body here for lubrication purposes, or to get the fluid in a different area. So what I did is I just taped off that area and put a bunch of paper towels over it to try and limit the amount of shavings that go everywhere. And so here I'm going to drill it and then hopefully use the vacuum cleaner to suck it all back up and not get metal shavings everywhere.
So if you lay the tape down and then suck it out with the vacuum afterwards, I didn't get any filings in there, so I think that looks good. So the next step is to get this front pump off and see what that looks like, as we're going to be replacing the pressure regulator. So let's do that next. Alright guys, we had a slight delay as I had to take a couple day break as I needed. So I got the front pump here. We are on step 3, which is replacing the pump pressure regulator. And I didn't have a snap ring pliers. I was kind of surprised my Icon snap ring plier, which I did a review on, I'll put a link up here. It didn't have a small enough size, which I was honestly kind of surprised on. Yeah, we got to replace this pressure regulator here. I needed a snap ring. Basically, this is what we're replacing. These are the new parts. We got, just as the diagram shows, we got whatever, boost sleeve, boost valve. We have cap, or a little washer piece. Then we have a black spring. And then we have the blue spring. And then we have what a pressure regulator valve that goes in here like this, and it'll fit down in there. One of the ways, I think like this. So yeah, let's get this popped off and make sure we kind of look at how we're taking it off to make sure it matches. So let's do that. So I picked up a new snap ring pliers. It was kind of more of a littler guy off Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. Hopefully this works good. I think I got a couple sizes. Yeah, see that's the little eyelets, which is the other one wasn't. There we go. See, no problem when you have the right tool. So we're reusing that snap ring pliers. I mean, so basically I have big ones with the Icons, and then this is a little smaller guy. That should work good. All right, now we got this popping out. All right, this looks like the boost sleeve. Everything's just gonna fall out. That way I can make sure to keep it in the right order. Wow, stay put. I mean, it's a little, the new one's a little fatter on the end. Looks like the tapers, you know, a little taper's a little different as well. Some magic going on there, I think. So, and the boost valve itself, if we look at that, is quite a bit different as well. And see, this is the old one. This is the new one. It's decent amount difference there. So on the other side here, it's with a roll pin. Tap that out, and then we can put a new plug in with an O-rings to make sure that's sealed tight. And then this whole assembly just goes back in. All right, I got the pressure relief valve back installed. It definitely helps if you put it in the right way and not the opposite way. So yeah, then just push down and put the snap ring on, pretty easy. Now we're moving to step 4. All right guys, next step is step 4 in this, which is drilling out holes in the thing, the plate, the spacer plate, the wow, spacer thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. All right, the next step is step 4, where we're drilling out the spacer valve body plate. So it tells you the different hole sizes and where they're located. So we'll drill those out. In the next step, they provide, I think, all of the drill bits. So let's gather those up. All right, I got my drill bits lined up in order of size, like they say to do. I didn't have this 067, or it wasn't supplied. I don't know if I lost it, but I had some extra 1/16 drill bits, which is 060. If all these measure, I was measuring with a 6-inch caliper. They all are slightly, you know, undersized the size, which makes sense because as you drill it, it's going to be a little bit bigger than that. So we're going to follow this diagram and drill each hole accordingly. All right, we got all the holes drilled out. The next step is step 5, where we got to install some plugs. Basically, we put them in the hole and then smack it, is what it says, and to flatten it out to hold the plug. So we're gonna do that, and basically we're just following this. So we got to dig those out. They're pretty small, so you got to be extra careful with that. We have to install the aluminum plugs, and it says to install this one first for some reason, and you slide it in like that. It says to hold it flat and then smack it. So we're gonna try it. Hopefully it goes good. Okay, it's in there. It does say to file flush, which I'm not really sure how you're supposed to do that. All right guys, that's pretty dang flush there. So we're gonna call that good. Next, we're doing these 2 small ones. All right guys, we're on step 6 now, which is removing, you gotta remove the whatever shift lever guy that I already took out, and then out pops, you gotta take out a little roll pin, and then you pop out this filter, which you just got to push it out from this side, and then we are replacing that with a new filter, as well as they give you new plugs to go on this side, and the other side with O-rings to seal everything up. So let's get those new parts in so we're good to go. All right, we are on step 7 and 8. So we are replacing a valve in the torque converter clutch solenoid, which is this one, which is right here. So we are gonna pop this guy out, there's a clip, and replace that valve and spring as it says, and then also check this guy as well. What is it saying? It's remove the coolant, and we gotta replace the spring in this one as well. All right guys, we're gonna try this roll pin. I have to remove to get that shutter valve out. I'm gonna try threading in a small screw, and then, cause it is a blind hole, I think I might actually need a smaller screw. Okay, I'll bring you in close. I found, this is a blind hole, or a blind, whatever you call it, roll pin hole. There's nothing on the other side. It is capped. So I found a little screw out of my kid's toy, a really, really tiny one, and I threaded it in there. Now I'm gonna try pulling it up with a needle nose and see if that works. And that didn't work. Oh, there we go. Ah, that worked. Drill bit kind of got it in there, twist, pull up, that worked. Woo! That sucked. Definitely a little firmer spring. So out with the old. And with all this stuff, I'm just putting a little bit of ATF on it, transmission fluid. There we go. All right. And then on my transmission, it is a later 2007 year. So it does have the bleed slot, like it's calling out for in step 9. So we jump to step 10, which is gonna be drilling and starting the dual feed for the clutch. So let's jump into that. All right, I got the valve body set up. We are on to step 10, and well, basically 10 and 11. They're kind of, it's all the same. We're installing this dual feed crossover pipe. So basically they give you some drill templates, follow the instructions. We got one template set up here for the first drilling, which is this side, and then we will drill the other side which is, I got it on the other side already, but I'll show you that as well. This is the one we're drilling right now into the side of the casting. I got it set up like this, and I'm gonna be drilling in from this way, which I think should work good. Yeah, so obviously we're starting with the smaller drill bit of the two. Okay, now that I got both holes drilled and I vacuumed them out, you can see I got one right there, which goes into this slot, and another one right there. And you can see this is how that is gonna line up, like that. Once I push that in, that'll line up. It also says, kind of, if you're concerned about leakage, I was kind of like, why not get some Loctite 290? I just got this on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm gonna put that on there as I slide this in as well. Might as well. Whoa, that comes out real fast. So the only other thing we got to do is dimple, like it says. So in the instructions, it says use a center punch and dimple around the casting here, or the hole, to kind of lock it in. So we're gonna do that. She's pretty solid. And then with this clamp, that'll hold it down good. Nice, we are set. Okay, on this we have, I just replaced the springs for the accumulator. We got the new springs put in, make sure it's orientated the right way so you got the right spring in the right spot, but that's it. That was step 13. Obviously that was easy. So now we're moving to 14, which is installing the check balls on there. So we're kind of doing 14 and 15 at the same time, installing the check balls, and they got the diagram on here. So now we're moving over to the transmission and we're gonna start reassembling. All right, so I installed the two little cups that they say. It's the direct clutch. I think it just shrinks the hole size a little bit, but I installed one here and here, and I just hammered it in with a punch like they say to do. So next is installing the check balls in the locations that they say, and then we can start reassembling this guy. I got this guy put back on. It's now time to put the valve body back on, and you probably should get some new gaskets. These are the two part numbers. I'll put the links in the description, but these are, you need both of them for basically the here and then on top of the valve body, or in between the separator plates, I should say. So let's put that on next. All right, so I got the accumulator housing put back on with the new springs. So we got the one gasket that has the holes for the accumulator. That's underneath here on the valve body. Then we got the separator plate. And then now this will go on here, and it goes like so. And yeah, and hopefully everything lines up. Alright guys, I put the old gasket back on and then I put the old pan on. I did paint it, although I did buy a new used pan. I did buy a new pan from Rock Auto. I was gonna reuse this, but then I noticed this doesn't have a drain plug. It's kind of handy to have a drain plug. The one from Rock Auto is only like 24 bucks. It's black. I painted the hardware black, so I'm just putting this on temporarily. I'm gonna put some cardboard on it so I can get it flipped over and get the torque converter installed, and then the transmission is done. And then in the next video, hopefully we will be bolting it up to the engine, getting everything ready, stuff this engine in, and make some progress. We got the transmission, shift kit all done. Everything's put back together. I do have to swap out the pan. Like I said, getting a new one with a drain, but I got some Summit Racing connectors to go in here, as well as I'm gonna be running some Dash 6 and line to the front for the cooler and everything. But we got everything buttoned up. I'm really happy how it turned out, and I'm really curious to see how this thing shifts. That's gonna be it for today. Stay tuned as I'm gonna start working on getting this baby assembled, getting the torque converter on, getting it bolted to the engine, and getting it thrown in the car real soon. So stay tuned. Peace.